We're on the Euro New Zealand on the 15, and we have a high and tight flag that's set up, and we've just had our fourth test down here. What I'm going to do is do the higher time frame analysis, because for high and tight flags they appear mainly within a trend and they are the most profitable in a trend. So here on the dailies, not a great deal, to be honest with you. We're seeing a little pullback into this structure shelf just here. There's not really much on the dailies for me to look at. On the 240, what I'm noticing is that we had a very directional move, and then right here this candle was a higher high, higher close candle. And if you look at the way price is moving, it is moving upwards, and so we could be looking here for just a small pullback before we see a continuation higher. If we take a look at it on the 60, then, and we actually draw out what the trend was, we had a move lower, a pullback, a move lower, then a pullback, a small retracement, a move higher, a pullback, and we have once again just here seen a higher high, higher close candle. So because we're actually seeing price move sideways, this is where I'm going to be looking for those breakout patterns. And as we go down to the 15, this is where I see a sore thumb move, where we clearly have a rally. And I've put two structure levels on, one along the top, so it's on the closes of the candles, and one along the bottom, so it's on the closes of the candles. And we need 4 touches to either side, so that's 1, 2, 3, there is 4. And this has now ticked all the boxes. We're in trend. If I just zoom out on the 15, you can clearly see we're moving very nicely here. Move higher, pull back, move higher, oops, come on, move higher, pull back, and move higher. Where have we pulled back to? We've pulled back into the wicks, which would be the first chance entry. As you can see, we have come down just here and retested that level, and this then means that I will be playing for a 127 extension. 127, as usual, is always the defaults that I play for. It gets hit the most amount of times, and over a period of time it is the most profitable for taking targets. So high and tight flags always have a good reward to risk if you get in at the right spot. And I'm just 5 pips below the lowest point here, and targets are 3 pips before that 127 extension. Okay, I need to just alter this slightly. So in terms of risk then, we're looking at 17 pips, and in terms of reward, we're looking at 23. And we're back for the update on the Euro New Zealand, and as you can see, that high and tight flag has now gone on to win. We could have waited for a little bit more of a conservative entry. If I'm honest, if we look here, we had a nice long pin bar. That pin bar was followed by a higher high, higher close. So we actually had 3 entry signals here. We had the aggressive one, which is the one which I took, which was this red candle here. I think it was the red candle, it may have been the green. We'd come down, we'd retested the lows, we'd held. Or you could have waited for a long test candle, or then you could have waited for the higher high, higher close. All 3 of those entries I could have used, but because of the rules that were met for the high and tight flag, i.e. us being in a trend, typically the form within a heavy trend, and typically the form within the first chance area as well, then I'm able to be more aggressive there with the entry. Either way, that turned out to be a lovely winning trade there for plus 23 pips.